Hey, Colin. In real life.
Yeah, right? It's been a hot minute.
You too, man. It's going. It's been good.
Has it changed your routine, it being shortened? Like,
Say it again, sorry?
Has like your routine changed because the off season is shortened, or?
I mean, it's not that short for us, I guess. Not really. We're able to get full 4 phases in of lifting, and we're going back a little bit later too, so it kind of works out.
There were times this season during the Zooms, especially on breakup day especially, that you were, trying to use the right word, you were visibly upset with, the way things were going and yourself. You put a lot of pressure on yourself. What was this season like with everything that went on?
Yeah, I mean, it was a challenging season. I think it was a challenging season for a lot of teams, a lot of people. It was a challenging time, obviously, with everything going on. So, I had to keep that in perspective over the course of the year. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of adversity, a difficult schedule, difficult not having those team bonding moments that you're able to have over the course of a year, especially with such a young team, so many new faces. So, but we definitely made the best of it, got to know each other. But I mean, when you're leaving the rink and you're going back to your home or hotel room and you can't really see the guys, and it's definitely different. Hopefully not something we'll ever have to do again, but we were very lucky to be able to play hockey and work, of course. But at the same time, it was definitely challenging.
What did you feel like you learned about the team through everything that went on through the offseason, whether it was COVID or just the front office changes? What do you feel like you learned about the group that you have?
I think in a shortened season like that, the only experience that I had would be going back to the lockout, and everything is kind of elevated. There's more of a microscope on each game, everything that happens. So at the end of the day, with all the stuff that was going on, I think that we learned that we were a resilient group, which I think has been a staple of this team for as long as I've been here when we've had success. Thinking about those teams that had long playoff runs and had success, that was the culture, that was the nature of the group. At times you might be down, but you're not out, and we showed signs of that right from the start of the year with the first 2 games where we got beat up by the Islanders, didn't score a goal, and then came back to shut them out. Obviously the response with the Washington games towards the end of the year, I know the guys who were out, myself included, were kicking ourselves for not being able to play in those games. So, but it was really cool to see that level of resiliency and that level of battle and fight from young guys. And going forward, that's got to be the culture of the group. So.
Chris, you were here for that great run, then the rebuild. Where do you see this franchise now? I mean, do you think the rebuild is over finally? Do you think that you guys are, ready to get back into the hunt?
I don't think players ever look at it like that.
Okay.
Going into each season, regardless of what people want to call the broader plan, we're worried about the day-to-day. We're worried about winning the next game, winning the next series, eventually punching our ticket, playing in the playoffs, and giving ourselves a chance to win a Stanley Cup. So regardless of what people want to call it, a rebuild, whatever position people may think the roster isn't going into a year, our goal is always the same.
But then, all right, if I can maybe ask it a different way, when you look at your team now, with where you finished up last year, with what changes were made in the offseason, what do you think, and what's your mindset going into training camp now? I mean, where do you feel you guys are at?
I think a mindset is coming to camp in the best shape possible. That's what we've talked about. Do everything over the course of the summer to put yourself in a position to help the team win games, and then to win the first game, win the second game, and the third game, and so on. It's as normal of an off season, I think, as it can be. I mean, we do have some time. It is slightly shortened, but we still have plenty of time to get ourselves prepared and to show up ready to win hockey games, and to over the course of 82 put ourselves in a position to make the playoffs.
Do you feel good about the team? I mean, at this point, do you feel good about what you have?
I always feel good about the team. I always feel good about our group. I always believe that the guys will put in the work over the summer and come back ready to compete. So, I mean, I don't think anyone goes into the season, without that level of optimism. So I think there's a good energy around the group like there always is going into the year. I know that the group chat's been buzzing and the guys are talking and guys are excited. So it'll be good. We've got some new faces, we've got some familiar faces, nature of pro hockey. But guys are excited. I think I say that before every season, but guys are very excited.
Yeah, Jordan said that is that the playoffs wasn't necessarily a mandate. But do you feel like the Rangers need to take that next step? And there's more on the team to take the next step next season?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, as a player, that's our goal every year.
Right.
I remember my first year, we lost to the Devils in the conference final, and they eventually lost to a team that some would argue limped into the playoffs and then went on to beat every team in 5 games. So at the end of the day, that's, everyone just wants to punch their ticket to the dance. So that's going to be our goal, regardless of what people think of the roster, people think what whatever the state of the team is. Our goal going into the year is to make the playoffs, and that's obviously the front of every single player's mind.
As someone who's been through coaching changes in the past, and the roster has a bunch of young kids that have only played for Coach Wynn, how much is it upon you to try and explain, what goes on through a coaching change and the different systems, and to ease them through that transition?
I think it's something they'll understand over the course of camp. At the same time, our young guys are incredible players, and they've shown that. They're figuring out who they are as hockey players, and independent and regardless of what coaching staff they're playing for, they've got to do the things that make them a great hockey player to help the team. So I think it's an unfortunate part of our business when staff turns over, but I think it's on the players to like I said, prepare themselves over the course of the summer and be ready to be the best version of themselves come the fall. I was not aware of that, but at the same time, thinking back the last few years, regardless of whether or not someone's wearing a C or an A or nothing, we've had leaders. We've had leaders in the room. We're going to continue to have leaders. We've got some terrific veterans who have stepped up the last years, and I was incredibly proud of that group. Some guys who would be young guys on other team, but were more veteran on our team, who grew into those roles. So at the end of the day, regardless if there's a C or if there's not a C, when I think back to the teams that had a ton of success, I mean, we had a captain, but we had former captains in the room. We had former captains from other teams. We had guys who might not have been a captain, but were incredible leaders and probably could have worn the C. So at the end of the day, the most important thing for our group is that we've got guys who are ready to step up and to be leaders and be the best version of themselves.
I feel like you said before that captain kind of means more to fans and media, but do you feel like this young group could, hold well having a captain?
I'll be honest, I haven't given it a lot of thought because, like I said, at the end of the day, we've got our leadership group. We've got some older guys coming in who I know have had success around the league and who were leaders in their own right in other places. And you look at the teams who have success, and you need that blend more than anything. I know that's something that you guys like to ask a lot about, but I kind of view it as minutia a little bit.
Would you mind naming which ones of the additions you feel have leadership qualities?
I think all of them do. I mean, we didn't. It's not. And I don't rule out. You don't have to be a veteran to be a leader. There are points and times over the course of the year where everyone has to step up, and I know that's an old cliche, but everyone's got to be pulling in the same direction. You saw that with the teams that had success in the playoffs. So, as we can develop that we mentality, that team mentality, that's how we're going to have success.
Chris, it seems like there was a focus from Chris Drury to bring in more grit and toughness, I guess, in this offseason. When you add guys like Kreider and you get guys like Ryan Reeves. So I'm wondering what you feel like in terms of, those types of additions that you need to your team. Like, how's that going to change you guys going forward? How's that going to benefit you?
When I look at it from a larger perspective, again, as a player, it's not something I really concern myself with, but I see guys who compete hard, guys who play north, who want to get to the inside, who know who they are as players, who have played within a defined role and know how they can help a team win. Ryan Reeves played on some incredible teams, and he's helped those teams win hockey games. Barkley's played on some great teams and helped those teams win hockey games. Sammy is, St. Louis helped them win hockey games. So at the end of the day, we brought in guys with that level of experience. I think that is incredibly valuable. Understanding the little things, understanding what a winning culture looks like, and then with the guys that are currently here, molding the group that we have into, finding that groove, finding that place, and finding that identity, so we can, win hockey games and ultimately make the playoffs.
Kind of going off of that, you talked a little bit about a winning culture, and one of the things that went on when the front office changes happened is that there was this notion that they wanted a culture change in the locker room. Do you feel like the chemistry and how much does it affect the on-ice product, and what kind of culture change are you hoping the team shifts towards?
I don't necessarily think that any sweeping changes were made or will be made in part to change the culture. I think we've been doing that, ever since we kind of broke it down, right? Like I said, the groups that were deep, that had those defined roles that I played on early on. We were a resilient group. The nature of NHL hockey, there's a salary cap. There are waves, and we broke it down. We built it back up, and we're finding that resiliency again. So I think we've had that over the last few years. I think we're continue to have that. Sorry. Yeah, of course. It's very difficult to see guys go. Like I said, it's the nature of pro hockey, but I had a terrific relationship with him. Learned a ton from him. Really respect him as a coach, as a person. Really going to miss him. Unfortunately, that's, like I said, the nature of pro hockey, but I know that a lot of guys, pretty much everyone took a lot away from him, and he definitely helped our group in a big way.
Over the years, you've seen lots of really quality guys go. So I know that Bruce was well respected in that locker room. How difficult is it to see a player that really came into his own this year, leave, possibly bigger things on their own?
Yeah, I remember him his rookie year. I was one of the first guys he met. He didn't speak a lick of English. It's incredibly difficult. Even when we were, it's funny how people seem to want to frame it, because even when we were making conference finals and cup finals, we were losing guys. You always lose more guys than you realize, and then maybe lose less guys than you think you're going to lose. But that's, again, the nature of the salary cap. And early on, I hate to say that I'm numb to it, because I'm not, and it still stings, but it's not unexpected at this point. Early on, I saw Derek Stepan go, I saw Derek Brassard go, we saw Zook, Hazy. Professionally, it's difficult. Those are guys that you love playing with, guys who will always be a part of your family, and guys that you love as people. But in a lot of ways, your family grows. I've found that out firsthand. You stay in touch with those guys, you maintain close relationships, you're excited to see them when you get to see them, and you pick up right where you left off. So it's very difficult seeing Bucci go. We're going to miss him around the room. We're obviously going to miss him on the ice, but I can't wait to see him. Not looking forward to playing against him. He's obviously a terrific player, but we're gonna miss him.
Chris, next month you get back together at training camp. Time to get down to business, but tonight is an opportunity to have some fun, be able to mingle with the fans again for a great cause. How much does that mean to you from your perspective?
I think this is one thing that really got lost in the craziness of the season, the pandemic. We didn't have the same opportunities to gather like this, to contribute to a charity or in a charitable way. So to see this turnout, I've been to this event up in Toronto. Dom has done a terrific job of building this to the point where it is now. Really happy to be a part of this. This is an unbelievable event for an unbelievable cause, and it feels like there's some element of normalcy. Like you said, it's for a terrific cause. We really weren't able to do nearly as much as we would have liked over the course of last year, whether it be through Garden of Dreams. Talked to you guys virtually. We were doing stuff virtually, but it's not really the same. So this is important. This is probably the most important thing that we do, and you can tell by the turnout. You got guys from all over the country here tonight. Looking forward to playing a little ping pong for a great cause.
What are your thoughts on Gallant? When I talked to Adam a couple weeks ago, he said that the players overused the players-driven coach. I'm curious what your impression of him is.
I will have a better impression come training camp.
Right. Or from it, just like initially, through the grapevine, what have you heard about him as a coach?
I mean, terrific things. Obviously, he's had a lot of success. I haven't heard a whole lot though, outside of just very positive things. I guess I've got more familiarity with Murph, who got brought up from Hartford, because we had him for a bit in the bubble, and then a bit when the coaches got COVID. But besides that, don't have a ton of familiarity with the coaching staff, and don't have a lot of. I'm not going into it with a lot of foresight into what's to be expected. I know that the one thing I will say is that he demands hard work up and down his lineup, as any good coach should, and he's fair, and at the end of the day, he wants to win hockey games. And in my mind, that's the most important thing at the professional level, is you do everything to win. So I've only heard great things, and like I said, I haven't really shook the grapevine all that much, but only heard great things from the guys that have played with him, and really looking forward to working with him. I mean, I saw it on a daily basis, so we all knew how deserving he was of it, and we were thrilled to see him win it. I mean, impressed with the winning of the trophy. I mean, I saw him do it on a daily basis, so it was, maybe especially playing only teams in your division, other people might not appreciate just how good he is, but we've seen it over the last few years and how rapidly he developed, and what he means to our team. So I think that was unbelievably awesome feather in the cap for the group. I mean, he'll be the first one to tell you he's a very humble kid, that he wouldn't be in the position he's in without his teammates, but at the same time, we wouldn't be in the position we are as a team without him. He means so much to our group, within the locker room, on the ice. We're just thrilled to have him.
How important is it to...
Miller had an unbelievable season also, second team. He kind of flies under the radar because of how great Adam's season was. What did you see out of Gunn in rookie season?
Terrific kid. Desire to grow, to learn, to be impactful. Unbelievable skill set. Unbelievable skater. I mean, the sky is the limit with him. Very deserving of second team. Personally, thought he should have been first team, but obviously very biased. But absolutely loved playing with him, getting to know him, and was just so impressed by him on a daily basis. So, I mean, yeah, I think the future's pretty bright.
How important is it to get Igor Shesterkin on the contract for the next 4 seasons?
Probably a question better posed to management, but definitely. But in terms of him as a player and as a person, knowing that he's going to be around for several years is very encouraging. Again, another guy who means a ton to our team. A guy who continues to get better and to grow. Terrific guy in the room, very soft-spoken, very good teammate, and a guy that we've really enjoyed, and looking forward to playing with him over the next few years. So
yeah, like the rest of the young players, tremendous upside with Igor and Kako, Lafreniere, Kravtsov, just a really good foundation, and the best is still ahead for these guys.
Yep, I agree.
All right.
All right, guys.